Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. In First John chapter 4 verse 8 says, "Love others, show God, nature things of action, natural things of action." It shows God that you can love everyone. The Bible wants you to love everyone. And somewhere along that scripture, John chapter 4 verse 8, we would have thrown neighbor inside there because that's what God meant. Love everyone. You love your neighbors, everyone. It's important. But I have a slight little hesitation about that part when it comes to neighbor. You see, many years ago when the Bible was written, when we use the word neighbor, your neighbor is like your family. Because if you're living in a community, a specific village, a town, a state, wherever, and your family are away from you, the closest people to you are your neighbors. You know, it's like if you don't have any salt or sugar, you can go to your neighbor and get some salt or sugar. Vice versa, they can come over to your home and get some oil or some rice. That was the camaraderie, the love that was shown as a neighbor many moons ago. Your neighbor is your close compadre, you know. We all come together as a family and we sit in a home, celebrate functions, parties, anniversaries, whatever, a group, because we're just next to each other. Just as I step out my door, there's my neighbor's door. Just as I step out of my yard where I'm living, there is my neighbor's pathway. So you're in close proximity of your neighbor. So the Bible, when it was written many years ago, that was its intention. That love all, especially your neighbors. Because if you fell ill, you're so far away from your family. Your neighbors are there to rescue you and help you. But then comes the 20th and 21st century, in the 19th century, in the 18th century. And I think the whole concept of what neighbor is has changed. Totally. You see, your neighbor watches you more than anyone else in the world. Your neighbor knows when you come, when you go, if you're sick, if you're not sick, if you had a breakup with a relationship, if you don't have money. Your neighbor is so close that they listen to those things. They're close by. So there's a whole concept now. There's a shift in paradigm of who a neighbor is. A neighbor is no longer showing love. Some are. But the neighbors today, in the 18th, 19th, 20th, and 21st century, do not have love and compassion. Some of them, there's still those people who are camaraderie and definitely have that neighborly love. But your neighbor right now is your worst enemy. You have to watch your neighbor while they're watching you, period. You cannot trust these neighbors these days. This is a different breed of neighbor. This is a neighbor who would take money to watch you. These are neighbors would invite people to come into their home so they can listen to you, to see what you have going on in your life, to see what car you're driving, when you come and go. Your neighbor is not, it doesn't stand for love anymore. It stands for a financial business deal. Some of them, not all of them. But at least 60 to 70% of your neighbor will sell you out. So no longer you should encourage your neighbor to come in your home if you're not comfortable. I've seen many things where neighbors come into your home, take someone's husband, put things in your home, interfere with your life. All of a sudden you're getting sick. The truth is the truth, guys. And I am going to be the bearer of it. The neighbor that was in the Bible when God said, love everyone. in the 18th, 19th, and 20th and 21st century, it does not include neighbors. Not these neighbors now. Not these. These are people who will sell you out, who wants to know what you have so they can compete with you, who wants to know what's happening in your life so they could go and do it better. So the concept of neighbor has changed, and that is my perception. And the only way I can talk about these things is because I have experiences. I've looked at movies, I've looked at documentary, I've looked at people lose their lives because of neighbors. So 2026, just be cautious. That's it. If you had a neighbor for 20 something years, that's not the neighbor that you should be watching. If you had a neighbor for so many years and you sure, that's it. You keep those people close. But those that you're not comfortable about, and every time you're going out, they're pulling their blinds, those are the people that you need to watch while they're watching you. The concept of neighbor has changed from biblical days. Totally changed. Peace.